This is Crimey Queen. If you're joining us for the first time, this is the channel where we're having lots of fun with words and numbers, numerology to be precise. I have been doing a series of presentations and they're really quite juicy. We say the word juicy because we realize that every revelation or even a catastrophic Revelation 2 would have something to do with food or ingestion or something palatable. And so, that's why we are using the word. So we have been doing this series of presentations that really have a common thread of opening the third eye. Let's do it this way. So I have just explored the story of Sarah and Abraham and have discovered, of course, that was the same essence of the story would have been was what was passing on, open the third eye. Now it would also indicate that it's as if we are born with everything that we have. So the word Abraham or the name Abraham, for instance, had constitute the number eight. Yes, it was eight, but it would seem like Abraham perhaps was not really quite aware, perhaps just like Adam too, was not quite aware of how to really open the third eye. It's the how that was perhaps missing. And of course, like Eve, introducing the fruit to Adam, likewise was Sarah introducing the how to Abraham. This would seem like that was what happened because we hear or we learn that, Sarah was the one who told him to go with the maid. Now, the maid is a helper, isn't she? The maid is submissive. The maid does as she's told, so that would be one way of looking at it. But also, it's the essence of the story that perhaps it's really true that Sarah's eye or third eye was really open, but had not got the right vibrational frequency to introduce that to her husband. And hence it is saying that he went to, she encouraged him to go with the maid, but there might have been other ways of there might have been more than one way of opening your third eye. Okay, we say the third eye, but they were conceiving children. That's what we learn about. It's everything grows. So however, whatever slant we want to put on this story, as it was said that there were two sons, so let's stick to the two sons. There was Ishmael and there was Isaac. So we know that there were two sons. One was born of a maid and one of the wife. So there we see the interplay of what happens in number two. This is the essence of what I'm saying. There's an interplay of something that happens in number two that seem to really stir up our eagerness, our curiosity. In fact, this is what I would say, our curiosity. So in number two, there is the two wives, okay, one wife and one girlfriend, the maid, and then there is the husband in between. And of course, there is the challenges of whether I keep the maid or whether I kick her out, and then it's given the power of this is turn back to the wife and say, you do as you please, as you please, because there is that tendency that And we see that happens as well. A wife seems to make the decision much quicker than a husband to say, look, I'm out of here, I'm out of this relationship. That usually happens with the female. I think scientifically proven that women make those decisions even quicker, because men as well will shy away from that, making that decision, and take it back, or throw it back to the wife and say, well, you want this, you deal with it, and that's what had been happening. But we see the word vibrations come very much into play in that story with Sarah and her husband, and also the word vibrate too. Now, the story itself leaves us with very little imagination of where a lot of our words derive from in a sexual connotation, of course. We see with the aha that had transpired between Sarah and her husband, which is very funny. It's very amusing, really. And have I still got it here? Oh, I have wiped it off. Okay, so basically, um, what transpired? Let's do. Okay, let's take it this way. What transpired between Sarah and her husband, it's like when the name changed. And I still need to not get over my head with this, because I am not sure whether it was before or after they had the baby. I haven't, or the children that I have really, it would have to be after they had the children, or after, or it was promised that they would have children, and so that they would come to this aha, um, synchronistic, so this is Sarah, and this derived from trying to understand why God really changed their names. I have been reading this thing, and I understand that the God that I'm hearing about wouldn't just do something for some menial reason. It would have to be something very profound, and hence I'm now understanding in Revelation or in the scriptures when it says, don't change one dot of this word, because everything has a very important meaning, or have layers of meaning. So we have Sarah here, and let's do Abraham. Let's do Abraham. So this is what I saw. In fact, let's write it in a way that perhaps it's meant to be like this. Let's just see. A-B-R. It is. R-A-H. A-M. Okay, let's have the A-M here. A-M meaning 5. This A-M 5, which of course was here as well, also shows. Also, I think I have done, I'm just remembering that I have missed the A in my last presentation. So if you watch this presentation, it would be 5 and not 4. All right. So let's do this. This is what was very transparent in the presentations of Sarah and Abraham. This was the ingredients that seemed to have been amiss, or the ingredient that was found. I'm so excited about this. That they found. They found the aha. A-H. A-H. This is A-H. Now, I had this aha. Abraham. Oh, this is how I done it. Yes, I remember. So there is not a mistake in no, there is not a mistake in what I thought was. So let's look at this. So this is Sarah. Yes. Abraham. H-A-M. Okay, this is it here. Right. So what I had done was this. And of course, because I work intuitively, I had not realized that it could have been an AH here and say a ha ha or RR, but it does make sense. This is what intuition does. Intuition comes out really perfect and beautifully there. And there we see there's the M here, like I did, and it has added up with the word that. So RA, which is 10, and 2 is 12, and 1 is 13. And that 13 coincided perfectly with the word that, where God said, I am that. So basically, God had put his stamp in Abraham's name right there in that, the middle word, the third word of when God says, I am that I am. So we see that happens here, and we see the am, of course, I am that. We see that here as well, the am, and we see the I am that coincides here. So basically, there would be an I here where God says I, and in the end of Abraham, we see I am is reflected here. The I am reflecting here, when we add these two together, they also come to 5. It comes to the number 5. We also see that 9 and 5 is the beginning, 9, and the end. The AM is the end. The AM, and we see, of course, 9 and 14. If we were to, we can just add the AM, which is 5. 14 is 5. When we add 9 and 5 together, we get 5. Now, I hadn't done that before. As I say, I work intuitively. It's like God put, because we know Sarah is like that. We know Abraham, or we have the R here, but the hair it's as if God leaves his signature, is his name. I am the beginning and the end, and this is where the two meet. So go back to this ingredient here. This would seem that was when God changed Sarah's name. He changed the name. There was Sara. Of course, we have Sara, but we know that A is already present. The SAR is present. That's present. We know with ABR, that too is present. ABR or ABRA. There are so many A's in Abraham because the A is here already. And we see that present here. This is where they came with the aha. So Sarah was and Abraham was aha. So there we see that aha, which comes to 9 and 9. 9 and 9 becomes 18, 1 to 8. 1 and 8 is 9. And that is the ingredient that was necessary to start that new life. 9, the new beginning. This is what happens here. So I know I have covered that, but it's as if I felt a need to go over this, because we also see when we add this ABRA together, we end up with 13. This is 1 and 9, 10 and 2, 12 and 1, 13. The 13 adds up to 5. Now, the 13 adds up to 4. 4 goes in that 2 column of the sacrifice. I've mentioned it before, but that's okay. So 2 comes in that column. We can see the E in that column, of course, shows Eve here again, where it seemed like the same story is being revealed here to us in this section. The other thing that I thought was essential to mention is that this story here does really express where the word bra. We have a bra. Now bra, B-R-A. we see bra comes into her, and we see this, of course, the B, as I have been saying, that feminine aspect, the W aspect, the dome, the king dome. King is 5, dome is 5, and we see those two words. Of course, these are things that nourish, that gives life, same as Christ's crucifixion, is meant, and sacrifice is meant to give us life. He says, I have come that you may have life and have it more abundantly. Abundantly is number 33, and we see 3 and 3 is 6. So this is where 6 again shows in those because we are six, and 6 shows very beautifully in this. So here is the bra. It's a bra, of course, and even showing the bra, there's an emphasis with the M here, the M on this section here, which gives life. There is 4. It's like the 4 points of our being, the 4 aspects, our north, south, east, and west. That's what the M nurtures us here. It guides us, it protects us. We see that happening here. And so that's in Abraham. We see in Abraham that there's the feminine aspect in that word Abraham, and it's carried through right here. So it's in two areas. There's a W playing very actively where we in Abraham it's active, we could say that. So there's the dome hair, so there's breast hair, there's buttocks, there's wisdom tooth, there's 3 as in Trinity, and of course we see the 3 as in Trinity is very active here again. So the story was really with Sarah, Hagar, and Abraham, just like it was with Eve, Adam, and the serpent. So we see there are 3 figures in that scenario, the immediate scenario, of course. And that is not, of course, counting the sons, but that is the 3, the Trinity that we are talking about, that the interplay of these 3 figures to bring out life. We see the same happen with Adam and Eve and the serpent to bring out life. So there we see how that 3, the vibrations which come to 3 is here, or vibration or vibrate, vibrate is 5. Vibrate is 5. We see it also means breathe. So it's like the spirit of Eve, or when it says the spirit of God moved upon the earth. We know God is 8. We also know that the spirit means 10. The word spirit is like 10, and of course it's 1. And here we could say that 1, 1 is also coming here. This is where 1 forms bond. 1 forms that bond with the 3, and there is, or if we want to say the spirit, because we are a spirit, so the 1 forms that bond here with B. So the spirit between Sarah, Hagar, and Abraham had formed a bond. The spirit between Eve and Adam and the serpent had formed a bond. Of course, we know that bonds don't always stay as they are, because this is where God came to ask the question to Adam, for instance, where art thou? So that's another story in itself. But I would like to really show that where we can now understand where words derive from, where the aha derive from, and where bra derived from, and how bra would be so significant and symbolic in the coming about with children, of course. So this is really very, very interesting. So do join me again, where I'm going to show that again, another part of all this story that is showing that the number 8 is really the third eye. It is I. When we do the numerical value for the word I, it equals number 8. And this is what we know when Eve ate. But there's always something to do with the mouth or eating that transpires in those stories. And that is the common thread. So thank you for watching. I hope you like this presentation. I hope you have found it fun. And of course, because we are new fields, or we are fields, we are planting new seeds. We are planting new seeds. We are being bright and we are being ignited, because now we know about the aha. When we get this aha, they are not really meant to be suppressed. They are meant to be vibrating, and that's what we are doing. We are vibrating on that 5 frequency, because if we see the number 5, it has this the number 5, it's as if it of course we can do a number 5 here. It's got its head looking forward, but it comes down, and of course it has so many parts to it. And we are told, of course, if we do the numerical value for key, for lock, for breathe, for open, it's all number 5, and there is many more. You can check out my 5 presentation. I hope I have labeled it in a way that you could see that it is with 5s. Anything you see with 5, check it out. Okay, thank you very much for joining me, and of course I do appreciate your time. And if you have any comments, please leave your comments and subscribe and like, because we are really moving into a new light. So thank you, and let us be bright, and let us stay ignited, and be a field. We are planting new seeds, as I say. I'm doing it twice. That 1 2 1 2 is on one of my presentations. Thank you. Namaste. And spill over with love.